Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Dorbin number 50A. This is a mill finish aluminum interlocking threshold is what this is. This is indeed a threshold. This is a very small extrusion of aluminum. It has a bull-nosed leading edge. It has this feature to the back end of it that connects with, and here's the magic part of the threshold, the interlocking portion is here. So that when the door is closed, it's going to look just like that. So this portion, the 32Z, is this part number if you needed to order a hook strip only. We call it a hook strip, or maybe a J hook. If you use your imagination, you can see why we call it that. That gets nailed to the bottom of the door, and when the door closes, it makes that sort of a positive connection of a seal, just like that, giving you a significant ability to be able to mechanically interlock the door and the threshold. And while thermal transfer, because it's metal touching metal, may not be technically the most efficient, it's sure going to stop a draft from coming underneath that door, that's for sure. Okay. And the 50A is this model. There is an image below this video that shows the dimensional properties of the floor portion, or the threshold portion. Let's go over that now. You can see that it is 1 1/8 wide, 5/16 tall. Okay. The 32Z, the hook strip, that's going to be 7/8 or so wide. Overall height's probably about 5/16 as well. The question inherently becomes, what's the undercut of the door? Well, you know, when you measure that, 5/16 overall height, you can kind of gauge, you know, you're about 1/4 inch or so to the center line of the lip, where the bird's mouth, so to speak, of the hook strip is going to engage. So you're going to want to keep in mind where that's going to fall in line with exactly where the hook strip's going to fall in line, top of here down to about 1/4 inch. And this little giddy up that you see here, that's a nice feature that not everybody offers on their hook strips. It allows clearance for the underside connection, or the nails, to sit without making contact with the threshold, or of course it gives clearance for the head of the nails, is what I'm stammering about. So if you're going to be at 1/4 inch to the center line of this, you're going to take half of that distance that we had discussed earlier. You know, maybe 1/8 of an inch down to the center, maybe just heavy on 1/8 of an inch. You're going to start to come up with your undercut. So somewhere in the range of 3/8 of an inch. You know, you'll want to take account of the floor condition. Is it completely level? Will it be consistent across the bottom of the door? When I measure things like this that really require being within 1/16 of an inch, I like to use a caliper. I can measure everything, get to the center lines of material, deduct the wall thickness of what I'm working with as well, and then come up with what is best. But something in the 3/8 range is where I would suggest that you start when you are considering your undercut, or if you have an existing door, what you might be working with in terms of hardware requirement when considering this interlocking threshold as a candidate. Now, where are you going to use this item? You're going to use this in an area where you need a petite footprint, but you still want an interlock. A great application for a threshold like this might be a back door of a home where you expect there to be a threshold. You might have a flooring condition where you've got a little giddy up in the floor. I've used that term twice now. You might have an offset flooring condition where you've got room to slide a threshold like this, and your door is going to swing, let's say, into the garage. Not unusual, not unheard of, but you've got a flooring condition into the house. You might be able to slide this right underneath on the subfloor, the lower floor, but this up to where the offset comes in. Draw your door down a little bit, give it that interlock that you want to keep the unheated garage temperature out. Wisconsin, you know, Chicago, where I'm from, That'd be a good application for this. Side doors of homes would be good. Office doors, where you need a little bit of a threshold because you really want to try to deaden the transfer of sound from the shop to the office area, or the transmission of particulate, dust. This would be good at as well, where you're really expecting some sort of a threshold. A door sweep may not be very elegant in that sort of scenario because you're dragging that door sweep across the floor. Anyway, where you use this, you're limited by your imagination, but it's best used in those instances where you need some sort of a mechanical seal at the bottom and can do so in such a way that you're already expecting there to be a threshold. The only time an interlocking threshold kind of fails, really, because they are so incredibly elegant at mechanically sealing the bottom of the door, is when someone kinks the hook strip. Why would you kink it? Well, let's say it's installed and 20 years later you're moving the couch out, or you paint the door and you take that door, or the new owner of the space doesn't realize there's a hook strip, and that's what happens most often. And they rest that door right down on the floor, crushing the hook strip. Again, that's a 32Z, as in zinc, because this is a zinc. Oh, actually, no, this is aluminum, I believe. This piece of material is probably aluminum, which would make sense, although it could be zinc as well. I'm tempted to say that this is zinc-based material, which would make it not magnetic. But you can buy that item separately so that you can remove the damaged one, insert the new one, and be on your happy way. Okay. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Dorbin products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. Now keep in mind, regarding the length of this 50A, you can order it in any size that you want. Just simply order the next longest piece or pieces and indicate in the comment field what net length you'd like for us to ship the material out at, and we'll be happy to oblige. We'll give you that dimple in the proper dimension from the edge, and the proper center to center as well. Speaking of those holes, obviously the nails for the hook strip and the screws are included when you order this item. I'm partial to Dorbin, and it's because of decades of faithful distribution that me and my family have done for them, and obviously they're a company that we're intimately familiar with because of that relationship. Any questions on the 50A or any other Dorbin product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you very much.